It's astrology time, and here's Shane with daily-astrocat.com. That's me. Hey, what do you know? So anyway, let's talk about today. Today is Thursday. It's the 24th of July. So we're getting towards the end of the month, right? We're just into that Leo season, the Leo cycle, and today we're going to experience the new moon in Leo. These are powerful times for setting intentions, right? Yes, that's what we do with these. Now, what do you think we have to do? What do you think it is that we're trying to achieve? What is it that we're trying to get to? Well, we have Mercury retrograde, so that's going to be kind of a difficult thing to really parse, but let's do the best we can, okay? The moon's going to be void of course in Cancer. That's an important point to remember. And it will enter Leo at 11:28 in the morning. So we're going to start off the day void of course, and it's going to enter Leo at 11:28 in the morning. So that's going to be interesting. The cats, my cats, have picked today as a day of exceptional energy. They will probably spend the time sleeping because that's what cats do. All right? Now, it's the joining together of the sun and moon in a place where both Neptune and Saturn are aspected in the form of fiery trines. These fiery trines, right? Yep, we got 2 degrees of Leo, 2 degrees of Aries. There's a trine there. That's a big blue line. If you looked at a chart, that's a positive energy. That's an easy flow of energy. That's a flow of energy that's going back and forth. Now, Neptune and Saturn are both retrograde, so they're backing into Pisces. There's some messages that are going forward, though, because the sun and moon are always going to move forward. They never move in retrograde motion. They're luminaries, right? They're important planets. They're very close to Mercury, but not aspecting Mercury in the chart. Mercury also happens to be in Leo retrograde. So what that's going to give us is you're going to feel the energy start to push, right? Leo energy likes to be noticed. Leo energy likes to be dramatic. Leo energy likes to, it's very creative. It's the sun rules Leo. It's the essence of who we are that starts to bubble to the surface. Little bit, it's kind of strange because it always mixes first house stuff with fifth house stuff. And I think that they almost operate interchangeably because Mars has some of those creative aspects as well, as far as, and also Aries is that assertive sign that says I am, right? It's very, very assertive, very fiery. This is fixed fire, and it's a very great place to be beginning something, right? Now, the last void of course moon in Cancer was an important point that showed the value of trying by not trying. Yep, came to fruition. Whether it works out, we'll see. Okay? Now, it will work out. I'm not doubting that. Venus in Taurus wanted more, okay? She did. When she was in Taurus, she wanted more. Uranus in Taurus wanted out. So now that Uranus and Venus have moved out and they're in places where they're at, we find Venus, Venus is slightly at odds with the North Node and with Mars because Mars is actually conjunct the South Node. Very important point because I had somebody on one of the social media channels remark that it seemed like even though they were moving into something, they're being compelled to be giving something up. Well, that's Mars crossing that South Node. That's that removal of baggage to move forward karmically. You also have to remember that Mars was the ruler of Aries, and the last eclipse that we had, the last eclipse that we had, the solar eclipse, was in Aries, even though the nodes are in Pisces, but that eclipse itself was in Aries. The next eclipse is coming up in Virgo, and it's close to where Mars is now, is that inflection point. Now remember, wherever the nodes are at, you can be 10 to 12 degrees even outside of it. It's just where where the equator meets the ecliptic, okay, where the arc of the planets meet the ecliptic. And that's when the shadow of the moon and Earth actually line up to do the eclipse magic. Okay, so we got that sorted out. Look, that Taurus energy, that wave is beginning to recede, right? And the pressure is starting to build, though, because that wave is going to come back. Okay, it's almost like those tsunamis that hit Alexandria with that Crete earthquake that we mentioned a couple days ago. That water's going to come rushing back, right? You're going to ride that tide. That's what we have to do. Today's keyword is word, okay? Words are very important, so we're going to talk about words. And the color is gold leaf on the edges of a book. Now, you can really get words that tie you up and take you into a troublesome place, or you can look at this chart. If you were to pull it up for 3:11 here on the East Coast, 3:11 U.S. time, East Coast U.S., and you would see that this is a pretty powerful chart. There's some things that are going on with it, that with the moon and the sun just entering into what would be, if it were an electional chart, you would actually take it for East Coast of the United States. It would be a very good chart for me personally to be doing something with. Now, maybe not so much for you, but the thing that makes it great is that energy between Neptune and Saturn. There's also Uranus and Pluto involved. And what this is going to imply, this implies that there's a kite shape, and that kite is going to be in opposite of where Neptune and Saturn are. And Neptune and Saturn are 2 degrees Aries. That other point is 2 degrees Libra. So think about what Libra things you have that can stabilize you and make the best of this day, right? There's a harmonious aspect to that. This little mini grand trine, and it's between Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, will be with us for quite a while. Okay, it's going to be with us for a couple of years now. So we're going to be getting used to this energy, and those points are going to be points to it. I'm going to show you how to use the energy of the sextiles to which is where the space between Uranus and Saturn and Neptune and Pluto and Saturn and Neptune are, to be able to push your agenda even further. Okay, and by agenda I mean personal agenda, our ambitions, what we want to do, what our drive is. Because let's think about it. That Aries position is very much driving what's going on. This is forming the sextile between Pluto and Uranus. And these things have been pretty much existing for a while. Most of the people that have been born recently have that Pluto-Neptune sextile because they're very much, they don't vary that much in their orbits. But they do have a longer cycle. Eventually it will separate, but it stays together for a very long time. Now, look, the arrival of the moon in Leo is usually accompanied by a song. At least it is in my house, right? Or in what we've done in the past. This highlights creative avenues that can begin to open up. And that creativity is especially boosted with Neptune and Saturn. You remember, Saturn doesn't feel very comfortable, right, in Aries. It's just kind of like, well, it's okay. But going backwards, we're releasing from some of these things. We're releasing what it is that we've held on to. As we released it, we're allowing ourselves to move forward, and moving forward in very personal ways. We're going to be giving some of that energy over to our creativity and what we can do with it. And the key, some of the keys to that is communication. Now, it's going to be hard with Mercury, but that would be for today, okay? The words for today will be difficult, but in the future, this is where you're going to be looking towards. We're taking all that energy that we had, and think about it. This energy is really about Mars. Mars is our lead planet, and it's the lead planet because it was retrograde, so it was kind of like lagging behind. We had that long period where Mars spent in Leo and then went back to Cancer and then back into Leo. Where's the sun and moon? Leo. So we're starting to feel this energy coming back, especially with Mars over that south node. We're feeling where that's going karmically. This is going to bring this around now, and we're going to be able to take that energy from the eclipse that was in April, and now we're going to be able to move forward with it, okay? Was it in April or was it in March? I don't remember. It was earlier this year. I could look at it on the book over there, but that takes too long. All right, so look, the talents are there to inform others that we're ready, okay? Our talents are there, and that's what this Leo energy does. It's just like, I'm here. Let's go. All right? Ready for what? This answer It's up to you. That's the only limitation is. Okay? Are you ready to learn and grow? Yes, you can be. Okay, make sure you have all the information you need in order to ask the right questions. You need to possess the right words. Oh, there you go. That's where the word comes from. You need to ask the right questions, but in order to ask the right questions, you have to possess the right word. Right words. All right, and so, strong and confident and sure. This is not a commercial for deodorant. It is how we're feeling as the moon glides into Leo. This new moon is summed up by the first word, new, right? New. It's at 2 degrees, new, just entering Leo. Now, don't be afraid. One retrograde lesson is that we can't fix stupid. It's just the way it is, right? We can't. We can only fix our ability to adapt to challenging situations. That's what we can fix. We can choose to ignore it or we can choose to fight it. Fighting doesn't seem very likely because Leo is more of a fashionista rather than a fighter, right? That Aries energy would be fighting, but we've got Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and they're not going to be likely. They'll dig their heels in. They'll be very stubborn, but they're going to be stubborn as far as what to do with the creativity part of things, what to do with the spiritual part of things, because they're heading back into spiritual Pisces, right? Creative Pisces, empathetic Pisces. So don't be surprised if you start feeling a little bit kinder and gentler as we go into the summer and head into the fall. All right, so either way, look, you got to know that stuff is going to get wonky, right? You know it is. It already is. It's been crazy. Just the communication and the Mercury retrograde stuff and all the phones, you name it, okay? But it's like a flooded street, okay? You either got to go around it or you got to proceed with the utmost caution. You got to look for the highest ground, go slow, and try to get your way through it. Otherwise, you're stuck. So my advice is to get to your destination. Find the way. No one could possibly name your thing. Couldn't possibly like that. That's ridiculous. This is crazy, right? But yet they still do. Until it's no longer in style. Put a finger on the pulse and realize that the rights of everyone were sold for a bunch of worthless tokens, okay? That's right. You got what you're holding with is what you got. Until you learn to fight fire with fire, you're going to find that you've joined the minority. That's what you got, all right? You're not holding the tokens. I'm not. Okay, in 1979, U.S. President Jimmy Carter names Paul Volcker chairman of the Federal Reserve. And in 1939, this is kind of weird because I never do this, I picked a sports guy. Now, why I did is probably because I remember this guy from when I was a child. And it was Bob Lilly. He was born in 1939. Can you believe that? He was an American college pro football Hall of Fame defensive tackle. He played for the Dallas Cowboys, in case you're wondering, and he was a Super Bowl champion of Super Bowl VI. And he's also made first team All-Pro 7 years and Pro Bowl 11 years. He's born in Olney, Texas, and still around. So that's what we got for you. Let's sum it up because I didn't do it yesterday. The color is gold leaf on the edges of a book, and today's keyword is word. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. If you navigate those streets and you do it, today is an 8. If you let it pull you down, or you try to barrel through it, give yourself a 4 or a 5. It's up to you. Attitude, it's what you make of it. Today isn't, I just gave you numbers. Happy astrocatting.